continue to run through the corrections for ICT practical search criteria test. So this is the two files that we're going to use. So I'm going to open up the database. Whenever you are given a database and you're asked to open it, the moment you see this yellow strip that says enable content, kindly always enable content. It's going to restrict you to do some certain things. And then you have your search criteria test document, the evidence document where you need to put the files and the answers there. So just permit me to cascade in the screen. So that I can easily do what we need to do. So if you're using the Windows 10, all you can do is just hold the yellow strip there and drag it towards the end, and then you see like a shadow area, and then you can use that to cascade your screen. I need more space for my database. Let me expand this a bit. Okay, this is much better. So the first thing you need to do here is to write your name and then your class. Now it asks the question, how many sites in a table are based in England? Before you can start answering any of these, you need to create your query. And I showed you how to create your query. I said it's easy. You go to your create menu and then you use the query wizard. So the first option you're choosing here is simple query, and then you click OK. Now you need to select the table you're working with. So in this case we're working with sites, and then we're using all the fields from the table for our query. And then I'm going to click on next, and I'll click on next here because I want a detailed view, okay, for every record. Now if they ask you to give the query a name, this is where you rename it, but for now I'm going to leave it a site query, and I'll choose the option that says modify the query design before I click the finish button. Okay, so this is where you're going to enter all your search criteria. So let's start with the first one. The first one says how many sites in the table are based in England. So my search criteria here is England, and England is a country, so I need to go under the country field, under criteria, and put England. Please remember you must type it exactly the way it was given to you. Where there's a capital letter, put a capital letter. Where there's a small letter, put a small letter. So I'm going to run this, and then you can see I have a total of 3 records. So this is where you can go to check for your records here. So I have a total of 3 records. I'm going to put my answer there, 3. And then it says put an evidence. It says put an evidence or screenshot evidence of your query criteria. This is your query results, not your query criteria. To get your query criteria, you need to go back to your query design view. So this is where your query criteria is. And when you want to take your screenshot, let me bring up Snippet 2. Please always use Snipping Tool. Okay? Always use Snipping Tool. So I'm going to click on New. And whenever you're using Snipping Tool, whenever you're using Snipping Tool, please always make sure you're using the rectangular snip. This allows you to take a screenshot across just the area you need. Okay, so use the rectangular snip. I'm going to click on New, and then this is how you will take your screenshot. I don't really need this other part, but this area is where I need. Now once you take your screenshot, it is automatically copied to your clipboard. So all you just have to do is come under the evidence here and do a Ctrl V on your keyboard. to paste it. Always remember to save after every task. Task 2, it says how many sites have the code of AM or ME. So remember to clear the previous criteria. If you don't clear it, you get a wrong result. So under the site, how many sites have the code? So we're going to the code field, and it is AM, all capital, or ME. So we're using the M operator, the or operator here. So when we run this, to check if it's correct, you can see the code only AM and ME is being displayed here. So we have a total of 25 records. I'll put my answer here, 25. Then I'm going to go back to my query design view to take my screenshot. So snipping tool, screenshot this way. Okay, and then I'll paste it here. Now take note that it's showing all the labels on the side, and then it's showing the field name and then the criteria entered. So I'm done with that. Let me clear this criteria, save my evidence. Task 3 says how many sites have a potential area between 1,600 and 24,000. So we're going to the potential area field under the criteria. So the operator we're using is the between and operator. So I'm going to say between 1,600 and 24,000. Okay. Again, snipping tool, screenshot. I'll just take my screenshot down, okay, and then run it. So when I run it, I have a total of 50 records, 50, and then I can put my screenshot here. And let me just move my evidence down. I can even move the task tree down, so just move that down. Okay. Alright, so notice there's something wrong with my evidence. It's my between and is cropped. So what I can do here is go back to my design view, expand my column width here like this. You can actually just adjust all of this part. And then so now it's showing properly, and then I'll take my screenshot again. Please always make sure your criteria is fully visible. So I can replace this one like this, and voila. So task 4 says how many sites are in countries that contain the word Africa. So I always told you that when you hear things like includes or contains the word Africa, which means you have to use the like operator. Okay, so in this case, we're going to go on the country, and then we'll say like. Remember the criteria is like, you use the asterisk and then put the word inside Africa, and then close with an asterisk because it's a wildcard. They didn't specify if it should start with or end with the word. Okay, so once you've done this, then you can now run it. So in this case, I have a total of 7 records. And then let me go back to my query design to take my screenshot. So I'll use my snipping tool, and then take my screenshot like this. Put it here. Do Ctrl S to quickly save. So the next one is tax 5. And then tax 5 says how many sites have a reference of less than 18 and are owned. So always take it one after the other. Good practice is that when you enter the first criteria, you test and then enter the second one and test. So the reference is less than, whose reference is less than 18. So I'm going to say less than 18, and I'll run that to see. Okay, reference, one of them is above 18 or 18 and above. And then the next one, it says owned. So owned, it should be yes, because it's a Boolean field. So if I run that, I now have this. So I have a total of 12 records here. And of course, as usual, you need to take a screenshot evidence of your search criteria. Just like this. And then you go and put that inside your evidence document. Task 6 to the next. Task 6 says how many sites are in countries that begin with the letter C. So countries that begin with the letter C, so we're going to use the like operator again. Now because it begins with the letter C, I'm going to say C and then asterisk. So what that simply means is that you must start with the letter C and then any other letters or words can follow. So if I run this now, I have a total of 7 records, and you can see all the countries start with the letter C. So 7 records. And of course, I have to take screenshot evidence of this. Okay. So by the way, I'm still saving. The only thing, I'm using my keyboard shortcut Ctrl S to save my evidence. And then task 7. Task 7 says how many sites are in countries that end with the letter A and have a potential area of 32,025 or higher. So sites that end with the letter A, so of course the like operator, because it ends with A, so anything can follow. I'll say like. Okay, anything can follow but must end with the letter A. So let me run that first. Alright, so all the countries here end with the letter A. And then it says a potential area of 32,025 or higher. So I'm going to say greater than or equal to, it must be greater than or equal to 32,025. So that means 32,000 or anything above that. So if I run this, I have a total of 7 records. And then of course, as usual, you need to put a screenshot evidence. And finally, task 8. Task 8 says how many sites are in countries with 6 characters and a potential area between 12,000 and 99,000 and are not owned. So the queries went from simple to complex. So let's start with the first one as usual. It said the countries with characters, with 6 characters. So this is how you do that. First of all, you put your opening speech mark, and then you put question marks for the number of characters. So they said 6 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 question marks, and then close my speech mark. And then we have potential area of 20 between 12,000 and 99,000. So the potential area, I'm going to use the between and operator. First of all, let me first check my filter. Okay, so here I have all 6 characters, and then the next one will be potential area. So that is between 12,000 and 99,000. So I need to run that. So it's still 6 letters, and then it's between 99,000 and 12,000. Nothing less than that or above. And then the final one says are not owned. So owned will be equal to no. So if I run this now, I have a total of 5 records. So here is 5, and then of course as usual we need to take a screenshot evidence of this. And then put that in there. Of course, Ctrl S to save. Now this is how you were expected to do this test, and if you had done it this way, congratulations, because you will get 100% mark. Okay, so please remember, it is very important whenever you're entering your criteria, always enter the first one and test it, especially if you're working with a complex criteria as this. So enter the first criteria, test to see if it's working, then enter the second one, test again, and then enter the third one and test again. And remember, your screenshot for your query criteria is taken from the design view and not from the result view or your datasheet view. So this is wrong. Okay, that's all for your corrections on the query test. Thank you. Bye.